Welcome back to Laugh at the Turbulence, the ultimate New York Jets podcast. In this episode, we break down the brutal, gut-wrenching loss to the Steelers, what went wrong, who's to blame, and where the team goes from here. Plus, we dive into the latest rumors and updates around the Jets and take a hard look at what needs to change in order to get the season back on track. Stay tuned.
Hey, New York Jet fans from all around the world. Welcome to Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
To Laugh Through the Turbulence, a New York Jets podcast.
At Laugh Through the Turbulence, John Lovett's here.
The show that delivers you all your Jets content. Here are your hosts, John, Adden, and Monty. All the best to the New York Jet fans. J-E-T-S, Jets, 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 go Jets.
Go Jets.
No
Monty,
Jets.
Monty, you look a little... Is that Monty over there? You look a little different today. What's going on there?
Yeah, I'm just a little bit fucking embarrassed, man. It's just, at this point in my Jets fandom, I'm just embarrassed to even show my face after a loss like that. So I'm just, just here, I would put a bag over my head, but I ran out of bags.
ran out of bags.
Yeah.
You ran out of bags?
Yeah, I mean, I have the reusable ones. I'm not going to waste those on hiding my face from Jets fandom when I have this beautiful Dr. Doom mask.
All right, why don't you just go get a bacon, egg, and cheese or something like that, and it comes in a brown paper bag. And
That bag isn't gonna fit on his head.
That's not my head on my big ass head. Are you crazy? I wouldn't fit on yours either.
I mean, they have bigger bags,
Dude, I don't know. Have you seen the size of this cranium? You got a big old ball head too.
I do, but I'll show off what's covering it up in a little bit. But I guess we created a little recap video just so we can feel the misery again, and basically just here it is, and we'll get into it.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Laugh Through the Turbulence, where we break down the latest roller coaster of emotions that is being a Jets fan. We headed into Sunday night just signing Davante Adams and agreeing to terms with Haason Reddick, thinking our season would just turn around against the Steelers. Let's just say we got treated like a piñata by the Steelers. We lost to fucking Russell Wilson and the Steelers by 1,000,000 points. Stay tuned because, like the Jets, this show can only get better from here, right?
Oh no! We sucked again!
I think it's fair.
Yep. We earned every piece of that criticism.
Yeah, and we were dead wrong about this team. And I don't know what it is. Yeah, we were just dead wrong. I mean,
totally.
You know what's crazy? I think if that first interception does not happen, I think they fucking maul him.
I think we win. I don't know about maul him, but yeah, I think we win if that first pick, because it just was like we spiraled.
The momentum just. Well, there goes Monty, or Monty question mark.
Yeah.
Here. I'm here. I didn't do anything.
Yeah, you did.
I think you knocked me out.
I don't think I did.
Yeah.
All right. You want to get into it?
Yeah. Let's get into it. So, at this point, I heard this, just kind of traversing the interwebs, and I thought it was a great quote. The Jets are the worst team that money can buy. And I think that was really, really, well surmised, because it's like we sprang for a QB, a Hall of Fame QB at that. We sprang for a Hall of Fame tackle, Pro Bowl edge, upgraded at left tackle, upgraded at guard, brought back the only two O-line bright spots from last year. We got an all-pro wide receiver now, and we can't stop the run. We can't tackle consistently. We can't, consistently catch when it matters. We can't consistently force turnovers. And we're 2-5. This is worse than we were with Zach Wilson. This is craziness. And, in general, just like generally speaking, whereas other teams find unique and creative ways to win, it's like the Jets find more and more inventive, soul-crushing ways to lose. I've never seen anything like it. Like it's insane. Like, and the crazy part is every week it's something different. 1 week it's run defense, week it's pass defense, and like what or pass protection or what it's like we can't even nail down why we suck. Like we just suck, we just pick different ways. Like there's a roulette wheel, in the locker room. They spin it right before they run out there, and they're like, all right, who's going to suck this week? And they spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on is who just is complete ass that week. And, and a great like metaphor moment for it was Ulbrich dropping the flag. I think that was just a perfect metaphor for like the state of like the team's leadership, where we can't get out of our own way. And even when things like are going right for us, we still try to find a way to blow it. Just in case you weren't watching the game or you missed that part, Ulbrich, was going to throw a challenge because it looked like they weren't going to give Breece Hall the touchdown, the goal line carry that he had where he extended over the line or over the half of the line, whatever you want to call it. And, Aaron Rodgers gives, Ulbrich the signal because we know who's really in charge of the Jets. And, Ulbrich immediately, he starts fumbling around. He drops the friggin' flag. Like, this is like butt fumble levels of comedy, right? And he drops the friggin' flag, and then he tries to throw it. He throws it too late. The refs already come back, and they're like, oh, no, actually, it was a touchdown. Like, because if Ulbrich would have thrown the flag and then they actually reviewed it, it probably would have not been a touchdown, and then we would have gotten blown up and have to kick. Like, it's just a metaphor for like our level of luck and just how we just can't get shit right. And then how can this team just not recover? Like, they're just not playing mentally tough. Like, we blew a 2-score lead. We were 15-6 going into the half. And then we blew the lead and never scored again because of a pick. And like, it just spiraled out of control. And, it's like I you can't like blame any one aspect, but I mean I have to say Rodgers looked washed. His play was pretty alarming. 24 for 39, 276 and a touchdown and 2 picks. Sounds way better than what we actually saw. It just was total anemic second half. Couldn't get anything going. I think as far as this team is concerned, he might be cooked. On another team where he could actually game manage, he'd be fine. But the Jets just need too much from him. Like, they're asking him to throw an average almost of 40 times per game. He's throwing over 38 times per game, 39 last night. Just to give you an idea of what it's like around the league, Mahomes is throwing 27 balls a game. Allen, 27. Love, 25 and a half. Purdy is 30. Goff is throwing the ball 24 times a day. Darnold is throwing it 23 times a game. And, and a lot of that, his production, Rodgers is just him getting bailed out with yards after catch by Breece Hall on an absolutely crazy check down. He had a 70 passer rating last night. League average right now is 82. And NFL average is around 90 these days. So, he's got to step it up. He's got to figure his shit out. Zwerline's got to go. It's just too many things, I don't want to hear any excuses because, the Browns last year made the playoffs with 3 tackles down, no QB, no Nick Chubb, right? And it's just been too many other examples of teams that just find a way to win, and we're just always trying to find a way to fucking lose, and I'm sick of it.
Go ahead, Adnan.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you said everything right. I agree with every word that you said. And I kind of want to look at that game last night, and I'll talk about everything that you just did because I think you hit the nail on the head on everything that you said, right? But I kind of want to talk a little bit as like, how did we get here, right? And
beer.
And I want I want to read a tweet here from.
Yeah, they're driving me to alcoholism. I needed the beer more than I needed to hide my face.
Yeah, I got one too. So, so I want to read a tweet here from Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, just summing up this Mets season. And he said, I can't say enough about the tenacity and grit this team displayed this season. We were all disappointed that it ended yesterday, but I'm so grateful for the incredible run the team went on. The Mets galvanized not just New York fans, but baseball fans all over America. There is much to look forward to in 25 and beyond. Let's go Mets. Now, why do I bring that up in relation to the Jets? Because look at some of the words that he used to describe the Mets. Tenacity, grit, galvanized. Did the Jets embody any of that last night? Have they embodied any of that all season? And like Monty said, one of the biggest issues you have is a leadership void. You look at the Steelers last night, TJ Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick, Pat Fryermuth, and George Pickens, and maybe Ali Highsmith are the 5 players on the Steelers starting 22 that would start for the Jets. The
Hayward.
Jets, what's that?
Hayward.
And Hayward. So 6. So you have 6 players that would start for the Jets. And they drop 37 on them. Why? Because they have leaders. They have a plan. They know what they're doing. They galvanize around each other. They play with tenacity. They play with grit. The problem for the Jets is they don't have a leader anywhere, right? Now, let's use another New York sports comparison. The Jets and the Knicks, right? The Jets leader, Aaron Rodgers, throws Mike Williams under the bus. And he says, got to be on the red line, ran the wrong route, right? How does that team galvanize behind a leader like that? Now let's look at Jalen Brunson for the Knicks. Josh Hart was interviewed a couple of days ago. He's had an awful preseason. He scored 2 points. And when they asked him about it, he said, I don't know, man, I'm lost. I don't know what to do. Maybe I should come off the bench. The guy wanted to bench himself. They asked Jalen Brunson, the leader of that team, about that quote. You know what Jalen Brunson said? That's my fault. I haven't been a good enough leader or a good enough teammate. He took something completely out of his control and took the blame for it. That's what leaders do. When things go right, they give all the credit to the team. Jalen Brunson drops 50 and they win. He gives all the credit to the team. He drops 50 and they lose. He takes all the blame. He never throws his guys under the bus. So you know what happens when crisis hits? When adversity hits? The team knows their leader has their back. And they galvanize. And they play hard. They play with heart. Nobody galvanizes behind Aaron Rodgers because he'll be the first person to throw you under the bus if you don't do what he wants. Where is there a leader on this team? There isn't one. And that's why we're in the hole we are now. Because the Jets are a collection of players. They're not a team. And you're never going to win, especially in the NFL, if you aren't playing as a team. And what last night showed me and what disappointed me the most, and again, to use the Mets and the Knicks, I watched this whole playoff run for the Mets. I saw how much they cared. They cared as much as we did. I watched the Knicks in the playoffs last year, decimated by injury. 6, 7 guys, 5 guys playing 40 minutes. They're diving on the ball. They're fighting. They cared as much as we did. I see a Jet team that does not care as much as we do. They don't care as much as we do. And that is the thing that I think is unforgivable, is when a fan base can look at a team and say, you don't care as much as we do.
They don't deserve us. They don't deserve the Jets fans. This team does not deserve the fans.
They absolutely do not. Sell out every game. Second in attendance last year. Stadium is packed this year. And that's why Woody doesn't care. Why would he? And so this team has a serious leadership issue. This team has a serious issue with heart and grit and tenacity. And I don't know how that's fixed because I don't see the leadership. And so I fear this is going to be a long season, and I'm done being emotionally invested with this team. I'm not wearing any Jets apparel tonight. I'm wearing an Army hat because they're the best football team in our area. I'm not going to do it anymore with this team. I'll watch every game. I'll hope they'll win. But if they lose, I'm going to sleep good at night because I'm not going to put in the investment to care more than the team does.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me go. Tale of two halves, I think it's safe to say on this one. Second half was an utter disaster. Utter disaster beyond belief. First half, it looked like, okay, this team was – I thought they were going to fucking maul them. And I know when we were texting during the game, when Rodgers threw the first pick, by the way, it was a fucking great interception. Could have gone for a big play. Great interception, though. They were about to stomp on their throats. And it was an easy touchdown. The banged-up secondary – I mean, they didn't have DJ Reed, Michael Carter, and they didn't have Tony Adams, and I think they lost. Obviously Chuck Clark wasn't there either.
Sauce was out for a few plays too.
So
I knew you'd make excuses.
I'm not, but it didn't hold together. Quinnen and McDonald had good games, very good games. A lot of pressure from both of them. Actually, I think it was Will McDonald's best game in terms of getting pressure this season. Although he only had one sack. I know he had 3 in the Titans game, but it was his best game for pressure. The rest of the D-line ain't showing up, though. Hopefully that gets salvaged next week when Haason Reddick, which we'll talk about a little bit later, gets back. Mosley, Sherwood and Quincy are the better linebackers right now. And that's supposed to be your defensive leader, Mosley, right? And he's taking a back seat to Sherwood. And I think even Collinsworth even mentioned it during the broadcast. So if you want to talk about leadership on that side of the ball, that's where it is, right? And it's not there right now. We'll say this about Rodgers. Interestingly enough, his passes lead the league in drops by a lot. And it's starting to show. And the interesting stat, actually the most interesting stat, despite the 7 interceptions that he's accumulated over this time, he actually has the 3rd lowest turnover-worthy play throw percentage. Just behind Lamar and Burrow right now, which is interesting. I think he's still capable. He does have to step up, though, as a leader, though, and rally this team a little bit more together. I think he does. The talent is there. They should have. You're absolutely right, Adnan. There's 6 guys, and I'd question Pickens at this point relative to Garrett Wilson and Devontae in terms of overall skill, because I think Pickens is very one-trick pony.
So I would say, and the reason why I said that is if you assume the Jets start 3 receivers, right? If they start 2, then absolutely not. You know what I'm saying?
I understand. I will say Lazard's playing fucking great. Lazard's playing great.
I thought he was dead after last season, so he's been a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, compared to dead, he's
right.
Yeah. Yeah, not dead. He's not dead. Mike Williams, 1 catch though.
They're not targeting him though. How many targets did he have?
Well, how can they target it? I mean, it seemed like it was a lot of check down stuff, but mind you, Pittsburgh, that's a great defense.
But also, let me ask you this, John. If you're looking kind of at this kind of stuff a little bit, what the hell happened to Devontae in the second half? I thought him and Rodgers had a psychic relationship.
I thought they did.
Did he have a catch in the second half? I don't even think he did.
3 of 9 for 30-something yards, complete non-factor.
Jesus Christ!
It started off really hot though. The whole second half was just utter collapse. Just a lot of shit went wrong in the second half offensively. They couldn't run the ball anymore. They were stalling. Just really bad second half.
And you know what's starting to drive me nuts also are these goddamn batted balls. How many times is that going to happen to Aaron Rodgers on gotta have it plays?
Yeah, I think I counted 3 batted balls in that game.
Yeah, and then the one on the 4th down in the 4th quarter, and then I think the series before that where Watt had a massive one on 3rd down.
Yeah. Yeah, not great. Not great. I will say this though. I mean, like even with the, I guess musical chairs at guard, I didn't think the O line played that bad.
Outside of Tyron, no.
No, Morgan Moses had his best game.
Yeah.
He held TJ Watt in check.
I think Tippmann wasn't great in run blocking yesterday. And it was missed obviously when ABT went out. Simpson's been good this year. I will say that.
He's been their
very
most
solid.
consistent offensive lineman.
Definitely upgrade from Lakin.
Yeah,
Definitely
absolutely.
upgrade from Lakin.
You would be an upgrade from Lake.
But listen, real quick, just want to give our thoughts to Xavier Newman. Hope he's all right.
Absolutely.
That was a scary scene.
Shout out to him and his family.
Thankfully he was able to fly back with the team. All the, tests came back, good. So that's important, but definitely want to make sure we give our thoughts to him and his family.
Yeah, that was a
Speedy
scary
recovery, buddy.
I definitely hit the Jets home a little bit.
Yeah.
I will say this about Ulbrich, right, as a head coach. And Connor Hughes said the same thing that I said after last week, right? It's a little tough to juggle the whole team when you're also responsible for the defense, and it seems to be hurting the defense because there was the first half before that last drive. It looked like, there was a bunch of 3 and outs.
They were settling in nice, yeah.
Yeah, but then they just fell apart at the end. The one thing that Salah, I will say this about Salah, even though we can all agree he wasn't the best. He was good at rally shit.
Dude, 100%, man. This team to keep last year's team together and have them at 4-3 after 7 was miracle work.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. But the problem for the Jets on the defensive side is who can you give play calling duties to? Tony Odom? They don't really have a guy.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
There was other things too in that. So Nania did a great article on it. Basically, he was saying there was a lot less motion in this game than there was in the previous game. Because I think, honestly, the Bills game, I think the offense looked totally fine. I think it looked
I agree.
But there's a lot less motion, and I think that's going to get corrected in the next game, especially going against the Patriots, which we'll talk about in the next episode, right? But yeah, I'm also very hurt because I was up big gambling wise yesterday, and my biggest bet was actually the Jets. And this one fan sent this video in, and my God, I feel so sorry for him.
The Jets lost, and I'm angry. John, you said the Jets would win. I bet everything I had and they lost. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Did he say I bet everything I had and they lost?
He did.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel bad for that fan, all the Jet fans out there. But I will say that there is a solution to the Jets winning. I'm going to throw one up there. It was done by the great works of our marketing department. Here it is.
Laugh Through the Turbulence swag is now live and ready to make you look as good as Aaron Rodgers throwing a deep ball. Click in the bio to find out where to buy it. Get yours today and rep the green and white in style. And remember, wearing this swag doesn't make you look awesome. Actually, it increases our odds of the Jets winning. Well, maybe not, but it can't hurt to say that, right? Made probably from the finest child sweatshops from around the world that we do not endorse but still appreciate. Buy our swag today. We're giving you free content. Now it's time to empty your pockets and buy the stuff you don't need. Don't have a job? Well, you've got a kidney, right? Sell it and buy our swag. See if that's this old lady with a purse? Take her purse and pawn it and use the money to buy our swag. Got some money tucked away for your kid's college fund? Empty the account and buy our swag because your kid is just going to waste that money on a gender studies major anyway. Buy our fucking swag, dude!
We've got swag. You've got swag. And I'm going to take a page out of Adnan's book and not wear any more Jet stuff. From now on, it is just the swag at this point.
Attaboy.
We also have hats in black.
Attaboy, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, but the sweater's dope, though, right? And it comes in white, too.
Show the T-shirt, John.
Yeah, and also comes in chick sizes, too. Chicks love our shit, by the way. You will get laid if you wear our stuff.
Yeah, something like that.
I got the white shirt
The green. I haven't quite figured out how to do the logo stuff for the green stuff yet, but the shirts are kind of dope, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, I'll just go like this for now. It's actually toasty here in New York today. Actually, really toasty. Actually, this looks kind of fucking good right now. Yeah,
That's a nice match. Yeah. Shout out to my fiance again for making the logos.
Yeah, logo was amazing. Give her the biggest shout out for sure.
yeah, but I mean, 2-5 is fucking rough right now.
So yeah, let's jump into it a little bit, right? We talked. I sent this to the group chat earlier. Per ESPN analytics, the Jets still have a 47% chance to make the playoffs, which is a toss-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
With that in mind, I know that we had talked about it, but what do you guys? How do you guys feel? Is that logical? Because I think it's insane. But what do you think, John? I know Monty and I went back and forth a little bit.
Probably the way they came up with that number is they probably went through some pump power ranking fucking thing and looked at spreads going out through time from here now, right? And the Jets are going to be favored probably in a lot of these games going forward, considering that they got games like Patriots,
Cardinals.
Cardinals, Dolphins times 2. Who knows what 2 is, all right? Colts. They also have Jags. Seahawks look good, but I don't know if I think they're good.
They're very up and down.
They are. Rams are the same thing right now, but they're fucking banged up so hard right now.
Yeah.
We got Bills again, obviously. Texans again. We should fucking win that game. My God, we need to win that game. I'm trying to think what else is on the schedule that I missed right there. I think I was pretty much all of it, right?
Yeah, Bills again.
Yeah, I said Bills. Those are the
Did you say Texans?
Texans.
I did.
So what I think the problem for the Jets is, right, is obviously they have no room for error. So next game, right, you have the Patriots. Just based on sheer talent, I think the three of us could coach them to a win. So let's say you get to 3-5. Now you got to play the Texans.
No, we're cursed. We're cursed. It's not going to happen. We're going to lose.
We're not cursed. Stop with the curse.
We're
not
cursed.
We are not cursed. This team
seems pretty cursed to me.
It's not a curse. It's ineptitude for the past 14 years. That's what it is. It's absolute ineptitude. There is no curse because there's nothing to put a curse on. The curses don't exist in sports. All right? This team...
Yeah, Joe Namath. He sold his soul, and now we're paying for it.
You have the Red Sox for cursed for Bambino. You had the Chicago White Sox for giving up games for gambling, right? You have the you had what other curses exist in baseball? There's just got to be so many. You can say the baby curse too.
Guys, there aren't curses. It's just things that we use or that you guys use to make yourselves feel better about the ineptitude.
No,
there are no such thing.
I'm saying it's both. I'm saying it's both.
Why would that make me feel better? Knowing that, like, hey, there's no solution because there's this fucking big ass fucking wall in front of me and it's called a fucking curse.
Right. But that's my point. You're using that as an excuse, John. You make more excuses. No,
not at all. I'm not using it as an excuse. I'm literally saying it's ineptitude and a curse.
It's not.
I'm saying.
No, it's 100% ineptitude. There are no curses.
We do the right things and they blow up wrong.
No,
and then we do the wrong things and they blow up wrong
but too. The whole point is they don't do the right things. Look at this season. You kept Salah and then fired him after 5 games when you were 90% on board with firing him after
we went and got a future Hall of Famer at tackle. We went and redid our whole line, and every single one of those people has played well at some point. They just can't get it together.
Right, so that's not a curse.
Yes,
you're relying on
when you're doing the right. It's not just ineptitude. It's some other world. It's fortune.
I think collectively we need to sacrifice something. I'm willing to like burn some Jet stuff that I really love that I have. I have a couple of these little tiki things that are over here.
Let's not
perfect.
Burning things.
Yeah, I got another one over here that's fucking stupid. I got this fucking crap.
Yeah, take that out on the balcony and just burn it real quick. I think.
Yeah, I have a Jets dinosaur over here. I got this Geno Smith era Russian doll I got in the Czech Republic. Somehow they had it. It was so weird. It was like 6 years after Geno Smith.
That's so weird.
I have a Jets gnome. Oh, I got a Josh McCown version of the fucking Russian dolls. Holy shit. I got so much crap. I have so much Jets crap.
Guys, please, let's grow up here.
No, why should we fucking grow up? I've been watching this team since I was fucking 4 years old.
Let's understand.
The team won't grow up. Why should I?
That the reason for this is ineptitude.
And a curse, yes.
The reason for this.
Well, it's both of those things.
There's no such thing. It's not a curse. I will not allow anybody to get away with that because that takes culpability away from the organization.
I don't agree.
There is no such thing as
if I'm saying
curses.
they're morons, and they're cursed,
that
takes no culpability away from anyone.
They are not cursed. They are morons. That's the problem. No, it's not.
I think Joe Namath has to burn his fur coat, and then I think we're good.
Listen, we're not blaming Joe Namath for anything, all right? The guy brought the Jets their only Super Bowl, okay?
I can actually get us a physical goat that's alive, and then we could just...
Yeah, let's not do that. Are you insane?
Oh, really? We can eat it after, dude.
Yeah, I mean, goat meat's pretty good, dude.
Jesus.
You ever had curry goat before? It's freaking great.
No, of course I have. I'm Indian. Of course I've had it.
There you go. Exactly.
Are you? No, John, you're gonna sacrifice. You're gonna sacrifice a goat yourself.
Is it really sacrificing if we eat it after?
No, I'm saying, John.
I got you there, buddy.
No, I'm just asking, John. Are you going to get a goat and like slit its throat yourself? Is that what you're saying?
No, I could just go to the halal place and be like, "Yo, before you take that one down, let me just get a little blessing on it real quick."
I have the fucking knife for you to fucking go. Let's fucking just,
No, it's just
you see, Jet. You see what you're doing to us?
Yeah,
Jets. Look what you're doing to us.
Yeah,
you're making this guy want to sacrifice a goat in his apartment.
Yeah, I kind of realize why the ancestors did all that sacrifice and shit back in the days, thousands of years ago.
It's like that South Park episode when they were trying to kill Britney Spears because they wanted rain for good harvest. You know, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and
exactly the same.
And it never worked. Nothing worked.
But seriously, let's get back to your point there, Adnan.
I forgot what my point was. What were we talking about before we went? That's right.
We won the argument.
We were talking about how there's a 50% chance, approximately. Yeah. So I think that the reason for that is very much in tune with what John was saying. It's just they're looking at, first of all, they're looking at a normal, non-incompetent, non-cursed team, and they're thinking at it from a logical perspective, right? But what they don't realize is that the Jets don't operate within the realm of logic, right? Like normal teams try to find, as I said earlier, ways to win. We try to find ways to lose. So we're like the Bizarro World football team. We are on Bizarro World. We are the repeat champs in Bizarro World. But in the real world, we are losers. So, what's going on here is that they're looking at the rest of the schedule. They're looking at the fact that pretty much, it's really weird. So going back to 1990, only 10 teams have started 2-5 and ended up in the playoffs. But like four of those teams have been in the last 4 years, which is kind of crazy. So basically, where the trend right now is that each year some team starts out 2-5, figures their shit out, ends up in the playoffs. So they're looking at total. They're looking at our talent, the level of talent, all the stuff that we have, the remaining schedule, power rankings of the schedule. They're looking at these things, and they're looking at when we're favored, stuff like that. And they're also looking at the fact that, we just added a Pro Bowl wide receiver. We just added a Pro Bowl edge rusher. And, these things should, in theory, make us significantly better, and then we will, DJ Reed and Carter and those guys are not going to be out forever. Sauce is not going to get banged up every game. There is a lot really in theory, if we were a normal team, there would be a lot to still be excited about, like, and not necessarily excited, but to be somewhat positive about. Like, if this was the Packers, if this was the 49ers, if this was, some other competent franchise that was 2-5, but still had most of their pieces not out for season, there's every reason to think that we could turn it around. But we being the Jets, there's no reality of that, right? In reality, what's going to freaking happen, and you can quote me on this shit, what's going to happen is the Jets are going to win exactly enough games to keep our hopes up, right? They're going to win the Patriots game. They might even beat the Texans, right? But they're going to win exactly enough games for us to keep our hopes up and get the fan base invested, but not make the playoffs. And I think that's the most Jets scenario, is basically a 2022 Lions situation where they start out Lions started out 1-6 that year, and then they won 10. They won 8 out of the next 10 and ended up almost in the playoffs. But they did have a nice big fuck you to the Packers that year. By beating them and keeping them out of the playoffs that year, which is kind of what sparked things in motion to get Rodgers here and him off the team. Interestingly enough,
frustrating thing about that scenario, though, Monty, is that the Lions were an up and coming team, right? For the Jets to do that, Tyron's not going to be. There's going to be so much turnover next year. There's going to be a new coaching staff. There's going to be a new GM. So like, when that happens, the anticipation for next season, we're going to be like, well, where do we go from here? Right? The Lions were like, oh, look at this. We have our head coach. We have our quarterback. We have our GM.
Our wide receiver one.
We have our wide receiver one. Right? Then they go the next year and they draft Jahmyr Gibbs.
They
Jack
get Montgomery.
Campbell, and Laporta.
And they signed Montgomery. They signed Montgomery, yep.
They drafted Penei Sewell. Like, all of these things, you're like, man, for the Jets, it's just the opposite, right? Where you're like, okay, next year, unless something happens to Tyron Smith, they're going to fall for, the sunk cost fallacy. They're not going to sit him. And so next year, it'll be like, Olu is a rookie. He's played 2 games starting out left, right? So it's just like, there's so much uncertainty. It had to be this year, and they waited on firing Saleh. They kept Hackett. They didn't get Devontae in here in March. They didn't get Reddick in before training camp. And this is what it leads to.
Yep.
And it's not a good thing for this team. And like,
so much too little, too late, or waited too long, or all this. And the only reason a lot of this shit even happened is because of Woody getting emotional. Like, Woody is just like gone rogue kind of at this point. Off of Joe Douglas. Like, the Saleh firing, that wasn't Joe Douglas. He didn't have a hand in that. That was Woody. He came in and said that, And the Reddick thing, that was Woody pushing for that too.
Yeah, damn well he was like, get him in here. Because Douglas was like, I'm not doing this unless it works for us. But what I don't understand is he took exactly what the Jets were offering. This was it. Play your contract, and we'll talk about what are we doing here? So it just, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, probably what happened there, to be totally honest, probably they gave Reddick the right to seek trade, right? Probably could not find anybody that was willing to pay him.
Well, obviously. I mean, come on.
So
we knew that.
We knew that was
really didn't have a choice.
Yeah. Also, he, and listen, he didn't need to know that because Drew Rosenhaus already knew that. 100%. Yeah. Drew Rosenhaus knew that before he even took Reddick as a client guarantee it. So
Yeah.
what really happened is just fresh face came in and was willing to talk to the team. Woody is like feeling the heat and seeing and getting embarrassed. He got embarrassed in front of his rich muckety bucks over in England. And he was like, oh, shit, I got to actually do something because I'm getting embarrassed. And now he's stepping in and doing the job that Joe Douglas should have done, which was get Reddick on the field because this was an all-in year. I will not, listen, as much as this is way more Reddick's fault, that situation, just to kind of revisit that for a second, I am not going to let Joe Douglas off the hook. The guy is, 20-something and 60-something losses?
29 and 61.
There you go, 29 and 61. I am not going to let that guy off the fucking hook. Fuck that. He's done some great things. He's made some big moves. He's tried really hard, but I am not going to let him off the hook for that because the record is too bad. Too many things have absolutely blown up in his face. The guy is not Jesus. He does not walk on water. He can be stubborn. He can have his ego. He can be a fucking idiot just like anyone else. And he has shown that a lot more than a lot of other GMs, unfortunately. So, I'm not letting him off the hook for the Reddick thing. And Woody stepped in, but he was too late. Woody should have stepped in actually earlier. So,
Yeah, after the Patriots game.
yeah.
You should have stepped in August.
Yeah, just
In
stepped in over the
July.
summer. Or at least after we got embarrassed by the 49ers. Like, I already was like, alarm bells were going off for me after the 49ers game. I know you guys it wasn't, but for me it was. Because you could just eye test and see that some shit was not right. It wasn't right. And now we're reaping the benefits of waiting too long.
Yeah. Yeah, we're cursed.
Oh, grow up.
I'm looking at fucking QB rankings for the next draft. It's fucking crazy. I actually like Cam Ward. But all right. But yeah, the Reddick thing. All right. So he's coming back for this week's game, right? But it happened, and basically his fines were waived, which is we pretty much got the deal that we wanted from him originally, right?
Yep.
So I think it's a $750K cap hit, which is just it's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's nothing.
God, it just sucks that Jermaine is not there. He was the best edge that we had, even though Will McDonald did just make me $100 on Monty's foolishness of thinking that Will McDonald wouldn't get over 7.5.
Oh, stop it, you lucky bastard. If JJ didn't go down and we got Reddick in like we were supposed to, you would have never won that bet in your life.
I still won the bet.
Because you got lucky.
7 weeks in, not even half the season.
No, well,
Yeah.
Monty,
You got lucky.
Monty, isn't it a curse though? You were
Yeah.
cursed.
It's
right?
a curse.
I'm
I
sure
was
you were cursed.
I am cursed when I bet with John. He gets the luckiest bullshit whenever I bet with him.
Why do I get the
Get outta
luckiest?
here.
How many bets have we had, Monty?
We've had 2.
I've won both of them, right?
That's correct.
Okay. You want to make it up? I mean, you guys wouldn't take me.
John, you're just okay.
You guys wouldn't take me in the Lazard bet. But I clearly was right.
Why
on
would
that.
I take you in the Lazard bet? I agreed with that. I told you that too.
But I was of all Jets Nation reporters or whatever the fuck we do. Oh, by the way, like, comment, subscribe. Don't be a fucking asshole. And I got a great story about that too. I think we got 2 more subscribers while I was on the train ride back with my Jets golf bag, but that's a whole nother story.
Cool.
I gave him bad advice. I told him to bet a lot on the Jets. Maybe that's
No, you're gonna get.
we were
negative
talking about
subscribers.
putting parlays together and all that. And I was like, parlays are for suckers. I'm like, yeah, like I lose a lot of parlays, but I won once and it made me feel really good. I'm like, all right, how much have you lost? And it was like a lot. I'm like, okay.
I bet for the first time this Saturday in a while, hit a 7-leg parlay. College football.
Yeah,
College is a little different.
every bet I had hit except for the Jets, and I actually had the Patriots too.
Oh man.
And we got them coming up, and I'm kind of relieved that they didn't win because Drake May actually looked okay. But whatever, we can talk about that in the next episode. I don't know. I'm so frustrated, Jets Nation. These guys are too. I didn't really want to leave my house today, even though today was a perfect golf day and I had some time in the afternoon. But I have my old fucking clubs here and my old fucking New York Jets golf bag, which is actually going to be the fucking thing I burned. I am going to burn that golf bag. It's a shitty bag. I should have known right away. The strap broke in the first fucking week, just like fucking Mekhi Becton's fucking knee did every fucking time. And I had to use fucking fishing wire to fix it. And
you know what's funny about that is that my I got gifted a set of Jets steak knives, and like half of them broke within the first year. I'm not kidding you.
I guess they're cursed also, huh? The bag, the steak knives.
Scarf. Shows my Jets season ticket holder scarf that they gave me when I first got the tickets.
Mm-hmm.
What else do I have that's fucking cursed? Oh, you know what's crazy? The Jets fucking called me earlier this week. They called me. And they're like, you have this Jets cash, by the way, you can use. I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, you have like $80 that you could just use at the Jet shop at any time. I'm like, can I just use it online? They're like, no, you have to go and get a gift card and then do that.
Yeah,
so basically, what they're telling me is I have enough money basically there, plus like maybe like a little extra to fucking buy a Jets jersey. I don't know whose fucking jersey I want to get at this point, you know? Like I thought like beginning of the year it was gonna be Quinnen because I was like, hey, the guy's fucking great. He's always been great. He's a Jet for life, basically. But besides this game and the Patriots game, he hasn't fucking shown up.
He's Muhammad Wilkerson reborn at this point.
I have more faith in I think hopefully after this game, he did it against a good Pittsburgh team. Hopefully he can turn it around. You know, and now
Quinnen was good. No,
that's what I'm saying. He was good. And I think like the problem for us now is that everything for the rest of this season is a hope, right? It's hope this happens, hope that happens. Now we have to hope already that other teams lose. Like I'm watching the Bucks Ravens right now. It's we want the Bucks to win because the Ravens will drop to 4-3, right? Like this is insane that we have to do this before Halloween. And that's what drives me nuts.
Season's basically over at Halloween. It's
before Halloween.
Before Halloween, excuse me.
It's 2 weeks before Halloween, right? 10 days. 10 days before Halloween. And the season's on absolute life support.
Absolutely.
I'm going to that game too, man. Fucking A.
Yeah. So where do we go from here, guys? What fixes things?
I'm going to burn my Jets golf bag. You gotta do anything at this point, right?
You know what? To me, what fixes this? I think it's got to be a, no F's given. Run trick plays, blitz the hell out of your opponent. Have Garrett Wilson throwing the ball once a game. Do things that are absolutely insane to try and get some kind of momentum going, right? Become unpredictable. Stop running on first down. Do things that are, out of the ordinary. Break your tendencies and see what happens. Do the stuff that you haven't done. Start blitzing 50% of the time. Start doing these things. Touchdown Tampa. Very nice. Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield, if that matters for anyone for fantasy. But, you got to start doing things a little bit different. You got to do something because you keep doing the same shit. You're just going to keep losing. So that's what I think you got to do. Just go out there and you know what? Screw it. You're 2-5. Just have fun. Go and enjoy yourself, and just have fun. Don't put pressure on yourselves and enjoy the fact that you're professional football players. And let's see what happens.
So interestingly, I plugged this into AI, ChatGPT, what have you, and I asked it, what are the most critical issues that likely contribute to a lack of success comparative to other consistently winning teams in the NFL, and kind of asked it to give it a weight too. So like it said that it was basically 25% of the reason we suck is a lack of, this was the largest reason, was lack of stable leadership, basically saying that winning teams like 49ers and Chiefs They succeed by aligning leadership and shared vision. Whereas the Jets' problem in that regard is we have no continuity whatsoever in the front office, and coaching philosophies, and no coaching philosophies, which leads to a lack of identity. I think we're seeing that now because we were supposed to be a defensive team. Defense shit the bed. We're trying to be an offensive team. Offense ain't getting it done. Defense ain't getting it done, and the team's not getting it done. Next thing was 20% quarterback instability. Basically winning teams invest in long-term solutions at QB. The Jets have an over-reliance on missed draft opportunities and aging veterans, which have led to years and years of QB mediocrity. And they're basically saying that we need to, for better or worse, draft and develop a young QB. Even though it hasn't worked for us, it's got to be what we do. Yeah, and then
for us, Jesus.
Yeah, it says that's we got to do it.
Yeah, the last one that worked was Chad Pennington, I guess, right? If you really think about it.
Yeah, pretty much. So we've done it before, but
what do you guys think of the first 2 years of Sanchez?
Yeah, I mean, we did draft him, and he did do good enough to take us.
He was great in the playoffs.
Perfect outside of that position. I still love Sanchez because he had some games in the first season where they had a lot of comebacks. Like I remember the Texans game. There was that deep ball he had at the end of the game. I mean, like he had some good moments, right?
The crazy part is that when we lost, though, those games that we lost in the playoffs were never his fault. Those are not his fault. He played good in those games. Those back-to-back AFC championship games, we did not lose them because of Mark Sanchez. Now, you could say that we didn't do as well as we could have in the regular season. We didn't light up the scoreboard, this and that. He definitely didn't, win those last two games for us, or else we would have been in the Super Bowl. But he did not lose those games for us.
You look at 2010; they finished 11-5. I mean, that's a good football team. So But nevertheless, I agree. I mean, I think the optimal. I mean, it's crazy to think about it, right? But man, maybe in hindsight, the Jets should have done exactly what the Vikings did, right? Draft McCarthy or Bo Nix, sit him for 2 years behind Rodgers, and then play him. I mean because
instead of drafting Fashanu?
What's that?
Instead of drafting Fashanu, you go.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, I mean, because look at these next couple of. I mean, this next quarterback class is brutal, and then 2026 is Arch Manning. But you
class is good. It's got Sanders. It's got the Texas kid, and it's also got Cam Ward.
It's not that good, man. Cam Ward
it's not 5 names. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I mean, look, Cam Ward is that great. I think Ewers is the second day guy. I don't know about Sanders' kid, being outside of the cocoon of Deion Sanders. He's never had another coach.
I agree.
I don't know about that.
You don't think Cam Ward's fucking nasty?
I think he's good, but I mean, who knows? He makes a lot of mistakes too.
He's come back so many times for that team.
But
serious?
But what I would also say though, looking to 2026, that's the Arch Manning draft, right? And damn well that family is not letting him go to the Jets.
Absolutely not.
Just like Peyton would have been a Jet, but he went back to college to avoid the Jets. Just like that family didn't want Eli going to the Chargers. It's going to be the same exact thing. So Arch is off the table, unfortunately.
Yeah. So let me just finish up here. The next one was poor offensive line play, 20%. Just injuries and underperformance on the line, curse. And just saying we need to, do better at drafting and signing talent. And then that brings us to the fourth major reason, which is a lack of player development and scouting. Teams like the Ravens and Patriots consistently find mid-round talent and develop those players into stars. The Jets' problem is drafting and developing players has been completely inconsistent, leading to an over-reliance on expensive free agents. We need to invest in better scouting and development systems and maximize talent from all draft rounds. And then let's see, poor discipline and high penalties. That's the other major one. There's a couple other ones there, but those are just the top five.
Actually, going in at close of the first half, the Jets actually had less penalty yards than the Steelers. It was the first time all year.
What I would say though is on that last point, Monty, about like the drafting and development, I agree completely. It's inconsistent because they seem to be able to do it on the defensive side, but they can't do it on the offensive side.
Right.
You know, if you look at the starters that are on that offense that have been drafted, right? Brees, Garrett, Tippmann, AVT, that were drafted by the Jets. Those 4 guys were drafted in the first and second round.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like they aren't drafting. Look at some of the guys, Max Mitchell, Carter Warren. These guys, you got to develop one of them into a serviceable NFL starter.
Contributor, yeah.
You know?
Well, what about Michael Carter II?
You're right, Michael. But I'm saying offensively.
But that's the defensive guy. We're talking about offense.
No, I'm just trying to think. Braylon Allen.
I mean, outside of a couple of games, his usage isn't there, right? So I think he's a question mark. He can be. But, you know, I think he's still a question mark. You know, and look at what they've missed on. And looks like, I mean, I don't understand why they aren't playing Malachi Corley, right? They missed on Denzel Mims.
Malachi Corley is useless when you
but dude, if you look at it from an offensive perspective, they missed on Elijah Moore. They missed on Denzel Mims. They're not playing Corley. They've missed on so many players just in the second and third rounds that should be starters for them right now. So you don't have to go trade for Devontae. You don't have to sign Alan Lazard, right? But they just keep missing on these guys. It's really bad.
Jets bag. Let's burn it all. Just burn everything I own that's Jets related, except for the stuff that says Laughter the Turbulence. Buy it. It increases our chances of winning Jets games. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't be an asshole.
So you want to hear who AI recommended? Should be our
coach,
potential candidates for coach.
Probably Ben Johnson, right?
Ben Johnson, number 1. Mike Vrabel, and
Belichick.
Bobby Slowick, and Stefanski.
Well, here's what I would say. Here's what I would say, right? First of all, Belichick, there's no way he's coming to the Jets. He loathes Woody Johnson. He loathes him, right? And I don't want him anyway. He can, kick rocks. I want Vrabel, and I want him to bring in a young, cutting-edge offensive mind. I kind of want the setup that they have with the Commanders, right? Dan Quinn, defensive coach, culture setter, has turned the offense over to Cliff Kingsbury, who's a young, innovative, experienced coordinator, but the offense is also run under like Quinn's vision for the entire team. Like, that's what they need, and I think that's what Vrabel can bring. I don't think you can go another inexperienced head coach because it just doesn't seem to work in New York. I think you got to get a guy like Vrabel who's no nonsense, who's going to, reset the culture, and I think you go from there. I think that would be the best move for this team. Okay. Because I also don't think if you look at a guy like, if you look at Bobby Slowick, if you look at Ben Johnson, they're going to have their pick of jobs. And I don't think the Jet job is one of the best jobs out there.
No, not at all. Because it is a top 12 paying.
Right. Well, we got to think about this. What teams are going to be in the quarterback market next year, right? You got the Jaguars, right? Jaguars or Jets, considering our roster versus their roster.
Yeah, but here's the problem, though. Here's the problem, John. The problem is how many people.
I know.
Just logically, how many people are going to want to come in and coach Aaron Rodgers? right? That's a big problem, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers doesn't get along with everybody.
Okay.
Ben Johnson's going to come in here and demand Aaron's respect. Who Bobby Slowick's going to come in here and that's the thing about Vrabel.
I'm just
is
thinking about
he'll
the
demand their respect.
available next year. You got Jags, you got Giants, right? Giants, Dabble's probably on the hot seat, right?
So look, you have
no one in the NFC North, right? They're all looking crisp. Panthers, that's a new coach, right?
Yeah,
that's a new coach.
But look at what about
on that, right?
the Eagles?
Everything else in the NFC South seems pretty secure.
I mean,
maybe Dennis Allen,
the
whatever
Saints
it is,
probably.
Saints, maybe.
I think the Saints more than the Eagles. I think the Eagles will be.
Oh, that's
set
an interesting
for a
one. The
while.
Eagles. I still think the Eagles make the playoffs and they survive that.
That's what I'm saying. I think they'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm NFC West. Anything there? Probably not, because Arizona's in a rebuild. Seattle has a new coach. No way on the Niners. Rams. McVay's probably not going to call it quits, right?
But what about
Chargers?
Chargers have Harbaugh now.
They just had Harbaugh.
Yeah.
An interesting
West.
Well, what about?
There you go. Antonio Pierce. His job is on the hot seat too. So Raiders.
Yeah, but if you look at the NF or the AFC North, I mean, the Bengals' job could come open if they completely, are a disaster this season, which it looks like they might be. That job could come open. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. That's the number one job out there. Yeah. And then you look at the Jags. I mean, you do have talent there. You have Trevor Lawrence. You have
and no income tax.
And no income tax. And you also have Brian Thomas Jr., who's turning into an absolute star.
He's a
beast. Bigsby, Travis Etienne. You also have Evan Ingram.
Might be on the trade block, dude.
Yeah, either way, you still have Bigsby, right?
Oh, the job's up for grabs for sure. McCarthy's job. Holy shit.
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy. Yeah,
Dallas is another one. So the Jets' job
is
not.
All right, so we're cursed. We're cursed. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We're fucking poverty fan base. It's okay. We cheer for poverty. It is what it is. Final thoughts.
It's not a curse,
man. Go ahead, Final thoughts. Since you're on a roll there.
Yeah, I mean, first thing I'm going to say, not a curse. Curses do not exist in sports. It's ineptitude. It's it's a lack of leadership from Woody on down. Again, I'll say it all the time. Belichick knew from day one. It's why he resigned on day one by writing a note on a napkin. He knows what Woody is. Woody is the biggest problem for this organization. And just to kind of juxtapose again, the Jets against the Mets and the Knicks, two other teams who have can be mentioned in that same breath as the Jets over the years for ineptitude. You look at the Mets, they got a new owner, which probably would happen with the Jets, but you have Steve Cohen, David Stearns, Carlos Mendoza, Francisco Lindor. You have leaders at every level that make this NLCS run not seem fluky, right? Now you look at the Knicks. The Knicks were a disaster. James Dolan hasn't left, but he really took a back seat. And he turned over basketball operations to Leon Rose, Worldwide West, and Tom Thibodeau. And now the team has the third best odds to win the NBA championship. So what we need, which probably won't happen, is for Woody Johnson to bring in a GM from a highly respected organization and then just step away. And honestly, I mean, if Trump wins the election, would he make Woody an ambassador again? Because that would be one of the positives of Trump winning. Get Woody out of here, and let the GM run the show. So, I just think that Woody really has to take a step back. Otherwise, this will never work with him being as meddling and impatient as he is. So, that's kind of what we're looking at here is a massive leadership void from the owner down to the water boys. And it's very frustrating. That's all I have to say.
Cool. Monty.
Yeah, man. I just, I don't even know what else to say at this point. I just feel like, we've just been spinning our tires with this friggin' team. I think that there is some positivity that can be squeezed out if we're really, really looking at it like with the rosiest colored glasses and doing our very best to hold on, my cat's in the way, doing our very best to, kind of be positive about the situation, but it's so hard to, and I don't blame any Jets fan who isn't. I wish that like we could organize and revolt against the Jets and have like an organized day where like no one shows up to a game, no one watches a game, and we just black the Jets out. I wish that was possible for us to organize and do, because I would feel so great to just stick it to Woody and stick it to this fucking putrid organization that just continues to let me down every week in ways that I didn't even think were possible. I just hope that we can, like Aaron Rodgers said, take it one win at a time and win, against the Pats, and then win again against the Texans, and then just keep winning. I mean, for another team, this would totally be doable, because really what it is, it's 2 4-1 runs back to back. You go 4-1 into the bye, and then get the bye week, chill, come back, go 4-1 again, playoffs. That's possible. That's possible for a team that's not dysfunctional and not idiotic and not incompetent and not cursed, right? But is it possible for the Jets? I doubt it, but they said the chance was 47%. I think just because it's the Jets, it drops down to about 20%. But there is a chance. There is a chance.
And one thing, Monty, on your boycott idea before John goes, even if that happened, John would be the one person to show up to the stadium for the game because he's a company man. He'll be there no matter what.
I am. I'm still fucking rocking the old Strat water bottle, dude. Like,
yeah. I mean, I have some Strat. I have some Strat socks I wear from time to time.
Yeah. All right, can I go?
Go for it, buddy.
All right, look, you've heard enough from us about that. This swag is dope, though. I mean, look at that fucking logo. Wait, let me do that. The logo is fucking dope. The shirt is dope. This hoodie also comes in white. It's very dope as well. The material is great. I don't think it was made from sweatshops, but, it's a very good chance it was, which means they're a little hand knitted that shit really nice and tight. It's going to last you a long time. It's going to help you when it gets a little cold. The weather's not going to be like this, which is like 70-something degrees, and I'm fucking sweating my balls off. It's fucking
in October, which is crazy.
And just really quick, we don't condone sweatshops.
Yes. Yeah, I know. We put that in the fucking in the ad.
Good. It's good to say it as well.
Yeah, child labor is not good.
Yeah, child labor is not good.
Child labor is not good, but we appreciate it if it is the case, because it makes the stuff relatively affordable. It's something for you to wear instead of your Jets shit, because at least if you wear your Jets shit, people are going to look at you. They're going to make fun of you. They're going to be like, Jets fucking suck. But if you wear this Laugh at the Turbulence swag, they're going to be like, oh, what is that? That is dope. Where can I get that? Blah, blah, blah. It'll uplift your confidence. There's studies out there that say, something like that. Just fucking do it. Just fucking buy our swag so we can make some fucking money off this shit. I don't care if you're fucking broke. Just give me your fucking money and fucking buy our fucking swag, dude. And in the meantime, fuck the Patriots. Fuck the Dolphins. Fuck the Bills. Let's go
Jets.
Fucking Jets. Thank you again. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't be a fucking asshole.
Peace.
Laugh Through the Turbulence swag is now live and ready to make you look as good as Aaron Rodgers throwing a deep ball. Click in the bio to find out where to buy it. Get yours today and rep the green and white in style. And remember, wearing this swag doesn't make you look awesome. Actually, it increases our odds of the Jets winning. Well, maybe not, but it can't hurt to say that, right? Made probably from the finest child sweatshops from around the world that we do not endorse but still appreciate. Buy our swag today. We're giving you free content. Now it's time to empty your pockets and buy the stuff you don't need. Don't have a job? Well, you've got a kidney, right? Sell it and buy our swag. See if that's this old lady with a purse? Take her purse and pawn it and use the money to buy our swag. Got some money tucked away for your kid's college fund? Empty the account and buy our swag, because your kid is just going to waste that money on a gender studies major anyway. Buy our fucking swag, dude!